Okay, good morning, everyone. So I want to especially welcome us all to the continuation of our training so far. That's the PMP, the 3-week project management crash course. So we did started this course last week, and we are gradually progressing. And today marks another wonderful day into the training so far. So we've been able to discuss or teach on about 3 knowledge areas successfully. So today we are going to be concluding on the one we started yesterday, which is our project cost management. And trust me, those who were in attendance yesterday's class can attest that the class was so engaging and wonderful. So a lot of new things were taught, as the case may be. So we have not concluded on cost management, so we are going to be picking up from where we stopped yesterday. So I want to say welcome and welcome again to you all for being a part of this training so far. So my name is Kehinde Samson Ogunmiwa, and I'm administrative officer under CLC Concept Training Company Limited. So this training is brought to you by CLC Concept Training Company Limited. Yes, we are a training firm, a professional training firm. We are into several trainings that cut, across every industry. Just name it. Before I stop presenting, part of what we do, part of the trainings we offer is what you could see on my screen, cut across occupational safety and health, management trainings, even financial related trainings as well. So we deal with workshops, technical workshops, IT solutions, and the likes. So trust me, you are in the right hands when it comes to the training on project management professional. So the aim of this training is to prepare those who want to write the PMI exam, and those who are even practicing or who wants to practice in the field of project management, to help them expand more on their knowledge and understanding of what project management is all about and how to practicalize or to put those knowledge to use when you engage with such projects on the field. So once again, I want to say a very big welcome to you. So far, our trainer, our resource person has been very wonderful. That's the person of Mr. James Fanny. He has been with us. He has been the one taking us in this course right from the inception. And trust me, ever since he has been taking this training, we've had a whole lot of attestation, a whole lot of accolades being given to him, and affirmation from every of our trainings that indeed he's one who is good and versed in this area of profession. So he's joining us here today as well. So as our practice, we are going to be using some of our recorded materials to facilitate this training as well. So once you are joining in, please just ensure that your microphones are on mute. On our own end, we'll see to that as well. So please, at the end of the class, please, if you have your question, please put it in writing, or you just pen it down to the end of the class, and we'll give you the ample opportunity to ask your question. So several people have been asking, is there going to be a certificate for this training? And we've equally given response and answers to that. Yes, there's going to be certification for this training. And already we have passed the information across on the respective WhatsApp groups that we have created for this class. The informations, the PDF file concerning the training certification and other related information has been dropped there. And you should have equally by now received it via your emails. So the certification is given out at a discount rate, and it's going to be effective till the 5th of March 2025. So you want to take note of that and take hold of that opportunity before it slips by. So please, we are streaming on live YouTube. I want to believe that, yes, that we have a couple of participants who are joining us via their channel. So please, every of these videos are always dropped on the WhatsApp, on the YouTube platform. So at the end of each class, you can go back to the YouTube platform to have a rewatch of this recorded session. So take note of that. If you haven't subscribed to our page, please, we encourage you to do that, so you'll be able to get notification once we drop or once we have an upcoming training session. So please just make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel in order to have access to that. Pardon me. So I want to say a very big welcome to everyone who is joining today into this class. So today is going to be a wonderful one. like I did said, we are going to continue with project cost management, and after diverging everything on project cost management, then we go straight to project quality management. And our training for this week is going to end today. There won't be training tomorrow. So the next day we'll be having training is going to be on Monday. As we know, weekends are usually free for us to attend to the various assessments and the various videos that we have to catch up on. So the weekend is going to be giving for that. So please, if you have not done any of the assessments, you have from Friday through Sunday to be able to attend to that, because by Monday we are going to be starting with another knowledge area. So we are going to be dropping like 2 assessments after the end of today's class. So please take note of that. That's the assessment on cost management and possibly the assessments on project quality management. So you want to take note and watch out for that. So having said all this, let's straight into today's class. So please, if you can see my screen, just signify by giving me a thumbs up. Just notify me by giving me a thumbs up. Okay, can we all see my screen? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, so we'll be diving into today's class. The next voice you shall be hearing will be that of a resource person, the person of Mr. James Fanny. So please do enjoy your class.
And in our last class, we discussed fully project cost management. So I cannot overemphasize the importance of cost management to the success of the project. It is a very great skill that, if managed well by the project manager, they can really be rest assured that, of course, the quality of the project will not be in question. And of course, you should be able to finish within the schedule, and the scope of the project should be delivered. So like I did mention on our WhatsApp interactive platform today, just advising how you can get the best out of this class. You should try as much as possible to remain focused on the class. Try to do that. It will really help you to connect with me better, and try to note down your questions. Another thing I can assure you is that definitely you will get the material. Is a robust material, my research work in the field of project management, and you would enjoy it when you have it. So do not bother yourself writing much during the class. You can jot down. You can do well by paying attention to illustrations being used. So I kind of believe that, in illustrations drive trainings home, better. And I try as much as possible to look at, people listening, to use some illustrations that they can easily connect with. So get the best out of the class. Please perfectly mute your mic and note down your questions. Thank you so much. Let's continue from where we stopped yesterday. I'm going to share my screen right now. So you can see my screen, just make a thumbs up. So we had a robust discussion about project cost management in the previous class, talking about you having to make your cost estimates, and for you to actually budget, manage, control your budget to make sure that it's actually aligned, your expenses, your actual cost actually align with what you have put in the budget. So you need to actually keep track of the expenses as a project manager, so that you wouldn't run, to a dead end while on your project. So I did mention in the previous class that one of the greatest, let me use that word, one of the greatest blunder you could ever commit as a project manager is for you to exhaust the budget, and yet the project is not completed. So when you see a lot of projects that face legal cases, maybe a legal case between the project manager and the project owner, is usually when the project manager, in most cases, comes back to demand for more funds. That's really that was not really in the earlier agreement. So I did mention in the last class that it's very, very easy for some project owner to kind of part way with delivery time of their projects. So most usually the project is not urgent. Somebody can tell you, okay, I'm giving you additional 2 months. I'm giving you additional 1 year. I'm sure that you do me a very good job. So it's very possible that you have that. If you're a programmer, you have to deliver an app or a web app. Of course, the person can say, okay, fine, I understand. Maybe you are too busy or some codes just get crazy with you. So I'm giving you additional 2 months. I hope you'll be able to finish it. So it's very easy for them to give you additional time, but it is not easy for them to give additional money. It's very difficult for people, project owners, to give you additional money. And that is why you have to be very careful. So I did a lot of calculation yesterday, talking about some estimations, some estimating methodologies that you can make use of. We talk about the analogous methodology, estimating methodology. We talk about parametric, okay? We talk about top-down budgeting. Talk about bottom-up budgeting also. So I stopped on bottom-up budgeting yesterday, the previous class rather, and then I promised to pick it up from there. So hopefully this night also, I have a lot to undo. So we'll be dealing with project quality management also, so that we can have a whole lot tomorrow for our project human resource management. So rolling wave budgeting is the next that I want to explain to you. And of course, when you go back to the early stage of our project management series, we talked about waterfall framework of project management. I will talk about agile project management. So when we're talking about agile project management, and when you have some projects that that they actually you want to spend the fund in waves. Like you may have let's say you have a budget of $30,000 to spend. I've been using this 30,000 a lot. Maybe there's a $30,000 that is coming my way. So $30,000, okay, maybe is your budget. So and then you now look at it that okay, the expenses will actually you are going to actually allocate them in waves of your projects. So when I say waves, you will remember how your wave diagram actually looks like. Okay. So for some people that are science inclined, they may quickly connect to what I'm actually discussing. So this is you can say a cycle like this is a wave. So meaning that maybe the first 3 months of the project, the first 3 months, you now say that okay, the first 3 months, because of the activities that we are going to do. So let's say we are going to spend about $10,000. So you call that's the first wave of your project. So it's more or less like agile, but it is not really exactly agile, but it is applicable to agile. So when you see that your budget is not a straight up budget like that, it is actually something that you have to split up the way you are going to make use of the money that you have actually put into the budget. So definitely you can use rolling wave budgeting. So if we want to say in a nutshell, we will say that rolling wave budgeting is an approach that involves allocating funds in waves, with each wave representing a specific period or phase of your project. So, for example, I can say that instead of me to say the budget I have, the total budget I have for this project is this amount, I can charge the project owner that, okay, this is what it will cost us to do the foundation. So rather than giving him, a total sum of what the budget will be, I'm only giving him a wave. So you give us, this is the budget for foundation. So you release the money for foundation. It is after that, we will now still do budget for us to actually raise the building, maybe to lintel. And then after that, we do the budgeting for roofing. You will see that this kind of budgeting methodology has a lot of advantages. And one of the advantages that you have is that it helps you to adapt to changing project requirements. For example, there are some projects that even the project owner doesn't really have the good idea of all that he wants out of the project from the beginning. Just know that he has a project like this. He does not really know the exact. It might be that he doesn't really have, maybe it's an app, and then the person is bringing the app, and then you're asking him that, what will be the features that you need of this app? You just know that, okay, I want to create it for my company. There are so many things that what my company can actually do with the app. And then the first thing is that what is actually paying you for the first, maybe the landing page. So the budget that you first charging is that, okay, let's create a landing page. When you are done with that, the project owner might say that I would like my client to be able to make payments. I want you to actually implement payment method on my website. Then you give him another budget. So the project owner can change the requirements. He can always tell you, he can add the requirement. And the more he's actually doing that, it means that the person does not really have the picture of the scope of his project from the beginning. So you can easily adapt. When they say add this, you only put forth the budget for that. When they say add that, so it's like a wave of, phases. It's like a wave of sprints, okay, within the larger projects. Another thing is that it helps you to reduce the uncertainty and risk, because you can take care of risk easily. Because what you are concerned with is the first phase at hand. You are not giving him the express budget. Okay, do this for me. Okay, I may not be able to tell you this because we have a lot of changing. I mean, the market is not porous. The market is fluctuating, so I cannot give you the entire budget. But what I can do for you is that, okay, I will tell you in phase of this project, and I will tell you what it will take. So by the time you give the person, let's say this is the budget for foundation, you know that as he's releasing the money, you are putting it in place. If after that, the person actually requires that, okay, fine, I want you to raise it, then you can actually do budget with that based on the current price of the materials you are going to use in the market. So it helps you to actually, reduce uncertainty and risk. We're talking about risk here. We're talking about, either you not getting the scope right, or either you, charging below what the project will actually cost. So, and it's also support. It is not really agile, but it supports, agile project management. What is agile project management? That is when you are not using the waterfall framework. Projects that you deliver bit by bit. Projects that you approach bit by bit. Those are the agile, or we call it sprints. Okay, or we call it adaptive methodology. So it is an adaptive in the sense that you can easily adapt to changes. You can easily adjust. You are not giving the person an express, overview. You are telling him that based on this one we want to do, this is what it will cost us. And when you are done with that, you are charging for the next thing. You are budgeting for the next that. You are budgeting for this. Sometimes you can apply, the journey of education to this. Okay, for many who have tried it, who are self-schooled themselves or self-trained themselves in school, you will see that you cannot really say, oh, I'm keeping 10 million naira somewhere. This is what I'm going to use for my master degree. So you may not be able to really do that. But you must have a supportive means of funding your education. So what does that mean? You have a means of funding it, because you may get to year 2, you know, the cost of everything might actually be higher than what you actually think of. Like currently in Nigeria, where we have a lot of university, both government and even private, you know, they just multiply their school fees, really increase in geometric progression. So that kind of project, education, for example, or a degree program, is something that you can't really say this is the amount I'm going to spend. So you just need to face it as it comes. So it is a wave. The wave of year 1 will come, the wave of year 2 will come, you overcome, you make the expenses, the wave of year 3 will come. Even on your project, you can't from year 1 know how much you will spend on your project, the project you will do in year 5 or year 4. So it is like a rolling wave kind of budget. Okay, that's what we can actually attach to that illustration that I believe that you can easily connect with. So the only one of the disadvantages is that you may have to do the work over and over again. So there is a need for you to frequently prepare budgets and update it. Okay, so it makes your budget unstable. So your budget is not really stable. You can't really say that this is the amount I'm going to expertly spend on everything. So it is not stable. Okay, and when you have some contracts of fixed price contract, where they will say, okay, we want to give you this contract, this is the amount that we are paying. You know, rolling wave kind of budgeting does not work for that kind of contract. You dare not try it, okay, because it's already fixed. So even if anything changes, it is on you as a project manager. And then you have to be a very, very strong project manager to use this kind of budgeting. So the practical examples is in line with what we have used yesterday, when you have software development, and then the project is that you want to develop a new mobile app. Then you see this person is now saying, okay, week 1 to 4 is budgeting for $50,000, and that one is on requirement gathering. For him to gather the requirements, okay, will you need these features? Will you need that? Will you need about us page? Will you need the landing page and everything? So in gathering that, what it will cost in the project manager, he already made budget for that week 1 to 4. So that budget will actually go for week 1 to 4. And then by the time the project owner got that from me and said that, okay, the requirement is done. Okay, I want you to actually design it for me. Okay, we budget again, and then we say that will actually take place within the period of the 5th week to 8th week, and then it's going to cost this amount. So the budget bit by bit like that, and not just an express budget. So likewise in construction projects, as we make use of the example yesterday. So in bit by bit, what will be the equipment procurement? Let's buy all our equipment within the first 3 months. Okay, this is the amount it's going to cost. So we face that. That's the budget for that. When we are done, then we prepare the budget for the installations and know the duration it will take us. When we are done, then we prepare the budget for the training, because we want to actually train those that we are going to use for the installation, and then for testing within the 10th month to 12th month, and this is the amount is going to cost. So it's bit by bit budgeting. Okay, that is not far from the next one, which is agile budgeting. These actually focus, strictly on agile project management. So it's an iterative kind of budgeting. So when we say iterative, means that what you do, you perform your project in sprints. Okay, remember we talked about the process groups. What we say, you are going to initiate our process groups. It's just what we have discussed in. I know I discussed this a lot when we're actually doing project integration management. So you initiate, you plan, you execute, you review, which we call monitoring and controlling. Monitoring and controlling. And then you close. So these are the 5 process groups that we have. So when we are talking about you performing a project iteratively, it means that, for example, I have a project that, it is filled with a lot of uncertainties and it is very complex. So I cannot even know everything that we have to do from beginning. So because of this, to save yourself the trouble as a project manager, why don't you take it one step at a time? So you do it one step at a time, because you don't really know what everything will actually take. Even the entire scope, you may not really know the entire scope. For example, the example we can do is in the software project management. Okay, so you can say, let's first focus on the design. And in this design that you want to make, you are going to pass through the whole entire process groups. You are going to initiate your design. You are going to plan how the design will look like, and then you execute. That's when the design will be done. Okay, actually. And after the execution is done, then you have to check if what you have designed is in line with what the project owner actually requested of you. And after you have done that, you present it to the project owner. He will check it and then grant you that it is okay. So once he says it's okay, that is already closed. So that phase or that sprint is already closed. And then you take the next one. Maybe the next one is that you want to write your code. Writing of code. Now, in writing of code is another iteration or is another sprint. You go back again, you initiate, you plan, you execute, you review, and then you close. So that is how you will be doing the project bit by bit until you have the whole project. So it's just like a chunking method of division in mathematics. When you say you are chunking something down, it means that they give you a log of wood. It's like being given a log of wood, okay? And you have to break these woods down. So instead of you to face the whole of this, you first cut a bit of this off, and then when you cut it off, you bring it out here, you split all of it into smaller pieces. You execute it. You cut another little one, you bring it out, you execute it. You bring another this, you execute it. So that is iteration. So exactly that is what we can link with agile budgeting. So agile budgeting is an iterative and adaptive budgeting, because you are uncertain of everything that your budget will have to, what your total budget will be. So you choose to actually do your budgeting in iteration. Okay, so it helps for you to actually solve problems of uncertainty. So if you look at the advantages, it aligns with agile project management methodologies. Okay, there will be flexibility and adaptability in your budget. Okay, and it also helps you to have a collaboration and stakeholders engagement. Why? Because every time you want to start another sprint or another iteration, you have to still go back to these people. That yes, so you are forced to give them feedback. It makes you to engage them, because you have to go back and say, oh, we are not done with foundation. So the budget for foundation, we have used it for the foundation, and the foundation is now presented to you. Do you think it's okay? Okay, it's fine. So if there's no change request, okay, you now tell them. The next thing now is that we want to actually mold the blocks that we're going to use to raise the building. So how much will that cost? You present the budget again. So it makes you to frequently have to engage and collaborate with your stakeholders. Okay, you will be able to prioritize, those aspects of the projects that are of high value to you. Because when you are budgeting, you wouldn't want to budget, you wouldn't want to make budget for things that you think that they are really less important to the project. So you are forced to prioritize when you are actually making your budget with agile budgeting, and it helps you to have a continuous improvement. You always have room for improvement. Like if you make mistake in the previous budget, you have learned your lesson, By the time you are making budgeting for the next iteration, definitely you must have actually corrected most of the things that you made as a mistake. So that is agile budgeting. Okay. So, and I've actually put a whole lot of examples that can assist you to understand. Now, let's get to the tracking. And that's the very, in fact, if you have not really been paying much attention before, this is where you get to actually double up your attention, because we want to really look at some tools, some, techniques that you can use as a project manager to check the status of your project in terms of cost management, to really know if you are doing. But I've been mentioning keeping track, having to track your expenses. It's not something that you just stand up and say, okay, how much have we spent? How much is it? It's not just as easy as that. Okay, there are methodologies that you can use. So the first one I will discuss is end value management. End value management. So we call it EVM. So let me check on you if you're actually following up with the class. Do you have people following me in the class? Please give me thumbs up if you're actually following. Ezekiel Apan, thank you so much. All right. Okay, Dada Emmanuel, thank you so much. Yeah, I can see Jeff, I can see Monday. Okay, a lot of people are really alive with me in the class. Thank you so much. So let's move to discussing end value management. Okay, so you use end value management to measure project performance and progress. So it helps you to be able to look at how well you are doing with scope, how well you are doing with schedule, how well you are doing with your resource management. So I also discussed this when I was when we were actually having training on project schedule management. So we want to see how we can link it to costs. Okay, I briefly mentioned about the cost, and I kind of promised that when we are doing cost management, I'm going to lay emphasis on it. So there are key things that you need to understand first before you can be able to use end value management very well. So there are some terminologies I will explain to you. The first one is what we call planned value, PV. Planned value is what we can refer to as your budgeted cost of work schedule. You can see now. So planned value combines both the cost and the schedule together. Let me give you an instance. You can say that in the first, 3 months of my project, how much of the work should I have done, between the 3 months? How much of this work are we expected to have finished? So within the first 3 months, we can see that we must be done with 50% of the work. And how much are we expected, to really, how much of amount of money would we have actually spent, So if the total, if the total amount maybe is $30,000 or anything, maybe we are now saying that we are expecting that we should spend $15,000. So this is actually being put together for us to now know that what is the worth of the work that we want, that we expect ourselves to have completed within that particular month. So that is your planned value. The value that was really planned that you must have achieved within a specific period of time in your schedule. Then we discuss what we call end value. End value is actually the actual value that you have now earned ever since you have been working. So what is the end value? The end value is actually the value that you have earned from the word earn. When we are making earnings, when you are making earnings, is what you have accrued to yourself. So having started this project, yes, you plan to achieve this particular value. There is a previously planned value. It's somebody that said that within this year, I want to be able to make a savings of 5 million By the end of this year, I want to see myself having $5 million as my savings from all the work I've done this year. That is your plan value. Now, when the year now actually ended, you will now go and check your accounts. Oh, how much have I really saved? Did I meet up with my planned savings that I have, which is your planned value? So the actual amount now that you check in your account, let's say it is now 4.5 million. That 4.5 million become your end value. So 4.5 million, that's the actual one that you have earned, is your 4.5 million naira at the end of the year that you check. But the one you plan that you must have actually earned or saved is 5 million naira. So you should know the difference. So what you plan to actually what you plan as a value to have on your project and what you actually earn. And then, aside from the value that we have earned, we can now know how much has it really cost us. What is the actual cost that we have spent to actually have that value that we have said. So when you are looking at planned value, look at it like what the work of the work we have done within 3 months. Or the worth of this work is $50,000. The worth of what we have done. And by saying $50,000, we are not really mentioning the amount alone. We are mentioning even the time we have spent, even considering the amount of work we have done. So the worth of this work we have done, we are going to actually represent it in money. And the real work we plan to have, we express it in money. The real work we have now achieved now, which is the end value, we also express it in money, and then we can now calculate our actual cost. Now, what you will have, for the sake of those that may be writing a PMI exam and for the sake of our own assessment also, you can now calculate your variance from what you have. So your cost variance, what is the meaning of cost variance? That's the variation between what you have actually spent and what you actually plan to have spent. So it is your EV minus your AC, which is end value minus your actual cost. That will give us the idea of your cost variance, the variation in your cost. And then your schedule variance is your EV also minus your PV, which is your plan value. And then the third one is your cost performance index. I'm going to actually show you how to make readings with all these things. The value you have, what you will use, how you will interpret it on your project. That's exactly where I'm going. Okay, but all these calculations are very, very important. They are very, very important. So, and then you have your schedule performance index, also SPI. So your CPI is EV divided by your actual cost, and your SPI is your EV. Just the best way for you to cram this formula is to know that your EV always starts everything. When you're doing your cost variance, it is EV minus actual cost. When you're doing your schedule variance, it is actually your EV minus your PV. When you are doing your CPI, EV divided by actual cost. When you are doing your SPI, it is EV divided by your PV. Just know that everything is started by EV, and then you are good to go. So let's look at some calculations, and then let's look at our interpretation. I want us to look at the calculation first. So the first example I have here, okay, is this. Building a new office complex. Our planned value, which is the work we have scheduled to do, is that it will be $100,000. Our end value is the actual work that we have now completed. End value comprises both the amount we have spent, both the amount of work we have done, to calculate together to know the value of what we have earned in both schedule and spending expenses. But the planned value is actually bent on the schedule of the work. The work of that work we must have achieved within that period of time is your planned value. So we have that one as $100,000. Our end value is $80,000. That's the work that we have completed, like I've explained earlier. And then you have your actual cost. How much have you spent within that period? So the plan value is showing us that what within 3 months, perhaps this is the worth of work we must have done. Now, within that 3 months also, within 3 months, this is the worth of the work we must have done. That's the planned value. Within these 3 months, how much have we spent? That is the actual cost. But what is the worth of the project? That is the end value. So it is very important that you really manage the understanding of this. So we can now begin to find our cost variance. Since we already have the 3 things that we need, we have our actual cost that has been given to us, which is the actual cost incurred, $90,000. Don't forget, our planned value is $100,000, okay? And our end value is $80,000. So how do we calculate the cost variance? Our cost variance now, which is CV, we already know that what it is what EV minus the actual cost. And our EV that we have here is $80,000. So that would be 80,000 minus the actual cost, which is 90,000 in dollars. So if you calculate this, that is to give you minus $10,000. What does that mean? Anytime you get your cost variance in negative form, if your cost variance gives you negative, that is, what you get as the answer is negative. The interpretation of this is that what you have spent more than what you have budgeted. So we call it over budget. Over budget means that what? Don't interpret it like over budget, like maybe you make excess budget. No, you have spent more than necessary. That's the interpretation. You have overspent. You have spent more than what you have budgeted. That's what it means. So you are in the negative region. So if you can interpret the meaning of negative, negative is not a good vibe. It's a negative vibe. That is how you can actually what? Connect with it psychologically. So your negative cost variance shows that you are not doing well in your budget. You have spent more than necessary. And then if we calculate our schedule variance, in this case, the schedule variance will be that we have SV equal to end value minus your planned value. That is how you calculate your schedule variance. And what's your EV? Your EV, which is end value, as you have been given in this question, is $80,000. The planned value is $100,000, which is the worth of the work we plan to have achieved within that period of time. But unfortunately, we still have what? Negative $20,000. What does this mean? The interpretation of the negative schedule variance shows that you are behind schedule. You are not doing well in terms of what? The period of time you have set for yourself. So you can see these calculations would always help you to know that you're actually behind schedule. You don't need anybody to tell you. And you have overspent more than the budget that you have made. Let's look at how CPI can actually help you. Of course, I still have it already been discussed ahead. Your CPI, okay, let me, okay, let's save that. We'll come back to CPI, okay? I will largely actually explain CPI and SPI and all that. So let's just stay on this because I'm still explaining just what or how you can use your end value. It's still your end value that you are using. So in your CPI, let me explain briefly here. CPI is actually EV divided by your AC. So if you do that calculation very well, it will be that you're having $80,000 divided by actual cost, which is $90,000. So if you do that, it will give you 0.89. So we do in CPI and SPI, this is what we do. We do less than 1 equals to 1 greater than 1. When your CPI, okay, is less than 1, it means that your cost estimate is underperforming. It is not doing well it is less than 1, it means that what you are underperforming with your budget. You are overspending. You have overspent. You have not done well with your cost estimate or following your budget. You have not really followed it. So that is why you saw here where we have underperforming. You are underperforming because what we got here is 0.89, and 0.89 falls to this region. 0.89 is actually less than 1. So it means that what you are not doing fine. What happens when your CPI is equal to 1? When your CPI is 1, it means that what you are exactly on budget. It means that what if you have actually made plans to spend $10,000, you have spent exactly $10,000. Nothing more, nothing less. So that is when your CPI is equal to 1. You are on. But when it is greater than 1, that is the beautiful region. When it is greater than 1, it actually shows that you have actually, spent less than budget what you have budgeted for. And every project manager actually wanted that. You plan to have spent for the work of this job, you plan to have spent $10,000, but you have been able to save yourself some dollars. You have spent just $850. You have spent just $8,000 rather than spending $10,000. So you have saved $2,000, and that can also be injected into some other activities, because there may be some times along the line that you still overspend. You have to use that to make up for what other things that may actually happen along the line when you are executing the project. So it is very important that we learn this. One with SPI also the same thing. Your schedule performance indicator, okay, also would be judged based on what we have here. So it could also SPI, when it is also less than 1, it means that what you are behind. You are behind schedule. You are behind schedule. When it is equals to 1, you are on the schedule. I wanted to spend 3 days, you have spent exactly 3 days. But when it is less than 1, it means that what rather than spending 3 days, perhaps you're already spending up to 4-5 days. And then this means that you have actually achieved it earlier than planned for. That's greater than 1. You plan to finish this thing within 5 days, but now you have finished it within 3 days. Good of you as the project manager. So this is very important for us to actually know. In fact, I've discussed a whole lot of things here, and that will actually help us to move forward very fast. So let's look at the other example here for the software. This is your planned value, okay? Okay, this is your planned value. I wanted to test some of us. Okay, so they gave us your planned value, they gave us EV, they gave us AC. I want to see those people among us that are really following up with the class. Okay, moderator, I want people to actually signify. So please signify for me. Signify. I just want to ask basic questions. It's just to help to see. Okay, Monday is signifying. Mr. Moderator, are you there?
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay. Monday, David, they are signifying. So David, please let me to call David to unmute.
So Mr. David, can you unmute your mic?
David, please unmute your mic.
David Kolade.
Yeah, okay. All right, David, thank you so much. Now you have been given this planned value. What can you see there? What is the planned value? Amount. What amount are you seeing here for the planned value? Can you see my screen? David, are you there?
About the planned value.
What amount are you seeing there?
I'm saying 150. No, you can't cancel it. But I'm saying 150.
That's not 150. Look at that. That's $50,000. Right? I don't think you are in a quiet place. I don't think so. Let's try someone else. Okay. Don't worry. All right. Okay. All right. Please call on someone else for me, Mr. Moderator.
I'm still 50,000.
Okay. Is that Tuku, right?
Yes.
Tuku Omaka. Okay.
Yes.
So you are with me. So what can you see there in your PV?
I'm seeing $50,000.
Thank you. What can you see in your EV?
I'm seeing 60,000.
What can you see in your AC actual cost?
$55,000.
So how do you calculate your cost variance in this place? Tell us.
Okay, the cost difference in this place is the PV minus the EV. The EV minus the PV.
EV minus cost variance is what?
The PV minus the EV.
No. Note what I've told you. Just the easier way for you to actually memorize this formula is that every formula starts with the EV.
Okay? Yes.
Planned value has to do with the schedule, with time. Actual cost has to do with what? Cost that we're actually working on. You understand? So whenever you want to find cost variance, what you are making use of is EV and what? AC, which is the actual cost. Do you understand that? Okay. When you are dealing with anything that has to do with your schedule, like schedule variance, what you are making use of is what? EV and what? PV. Your planned value has to do with schedule. Your actual cost has to do with cost. Okay? While EV is what you earn from both of them. Do you understand that? So your cost variance is your what? EV minus what? Your AC. Do you understand that now? So do that for me. What is your EV here? $60,000, right?
Minus
AC minus 55,000. So what will you have?
It gives you
$5,000, right? Which is positive, right?
It's positive, yes.
So since that it is positive, you will see, we'll say that what? It is under budget. Don't see this one like under budget. Don't read it like with information of under budget. It is under the budget, meaning that what? You have spent less than the budget. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because it is positive. You have spent less than the budget. So you are doing well on your budget. Assuming that your budget had been $10,000, it means that you have spent just about $9,000 or less. Do you understand? So let's look at SV in this case now. So for you to calculate your SV here, as I've explained, what formula will you use? That one has to do with schedule. What formula will you use? The formula will always start with the EV. Don't forget. That's your
EV.
EV minus what?
PV.
Minus PV. Exactly. So your PV here is 50,000, right? And your EV is 60,000. So 60,000 minus 50,000. That's what?
10,000.
So that is $10,000. Is that positive or negative?
Positive.
So what does that tell you? It means that what? You are ahead of what?
For the budget.
You are ahead of schedule. You are dealing with schedule now. FG means schedule variance. Schedule means time. Okay? Schedule is the time frame that you have set for the project. So if your SV is actually positive, it means that you are ahead of your schedule. You are working ahead of it. What does that mean? It means that what you're supposed to do within 5 days, you have already completed it within 3 days.
3 days.
We get this.
Yes.
So if you are to calculate your CPI in this case, I told you just the way to understand the formula is that what everything is EV. CPI means what? Cost performance index. Okay. So your cost performance index is that what you are using EV divided by, since it is still cost, we know that it is AC that has to do with cost. Do you understand the actual cost? So you are dividing. In this case, you are not subtracting, you are dividing. So whatever you get here, you will not judge. Is it less than 1? Is it equal to 1? Is it what? Greater than 1? So based on what I've analyzed in this place, if it is less than 1, for the schedule, you are behind schedule. If it is what equals to 1, you are on schedule. If it is greater than 1, you are ahead of your schedule. Do you get that?
Yes.
If you want to interpret it for the CPI, which has to do with cost, if it is less than 1, it means that what you have what spent more than necessary. If it is what equals to 1, it means that what you have spent exactly what you budgeted. If it is greater than 1, you have spent less than what you have budgeted. Do you get that?
I do.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I just use that for us to actually get this done. So you can mute your mic now. So I believe that with you following now, with what I demonstrated with you, many people must have actually adjusted to what I've explained all this while. So this is what you have for your EV. You calculate your cost variance, you calculate your schedule variance, you calculate your CPI and your SPI, and then it helps you to actually track your project very well. So the cost variation analysis, I've explained it. I just splitted it out again for you so that you would now see it separately being treated in the material that you're going to have. So let's do one more calculation, okay, in the cost variance. So your cost variance, look at this. A manufacturing company implemented CVA, cost variance analysis, to manage costs, okay, for a new production line. The baseline cost, what it means is that what the amount they want to spend, the projected to spend, okay, is what? $500,000. But the actual cost after 3 months is what? $425,000. Okay, so what would be their cost variance? The cost variance would be that what what they plan to spend, which is the baseline. Okay, well, this is the amount that they plan to actually spend. Okay, but this is the amount they have actually spent. What does that actually tell you? It shows that they spent less than the amount they actually wanted to spend. And that's a very good one for projects. What is good for every project manager is to actually manage the fund in such a way that you are even spending less than what you actually want to spend. So it helps. So I actually analyze that separately also. And then we can do there's a lot of calculations there. We don't just have to go through everything. So let's look at the best practices, or we look at some limitation. It's very important. So using your CPI, cost performance index, what will you be able to achieve? You'll be able to evaluate cost performance. Okay, are you underspending? Are you overspending? Or you are spending the actual amount? You're able to identify potential cost overruns. Cost overruns means that spending more than necessary. So you'll be able to actually identify what is the potential cost overruns. That means I'm actually not doing fine. I'm spending more than necessary. And that will help you to take corrective actions. What is the actions that you will actually, what will be your reaction when your CPI is actually less than 1? What will be your reaction? It means that you're overspending. Then you will have to make necessary adjustments. If you are the site manager or the project manager, you will check, are there some wastage? Is it that they are stealing cement? How can we budget that we are going to use 40 bags of cement and there is not enough? It's not today I've been doing this job. I know that 40 bags of cement. So somebody might actually be that maybe they're actually stealing. There will be some of your team workers that when they come to site, what they do is talk. They will not be able to finish the work actually earmarked for them on that day. So it will get you thinking as a project manager. You will be forced to think that what is the problem. So and take corrective actions. It will also help you to actually improve project profitability. If you are able to manage your cost, of course, you will be able to say that this project actually did fine in form of profitability. And then it will make your stakeholders to be satisfied. What every stakeholder wants to hear is that, yes, we were able to actually work within the budget. That is when you are going to have a round of applause. No stakeholders on the project would like to hear there is still more, so we have not roofed it, and so how much do you have left? It's 0 naira, 0 kobo. In fact, we are owing some people 5 million naira already. It's going to call for a lot of questioning. No matter how best you say, as a project manager, you want to defend it. Excuse me. So no matter how best you could say that you want to actually defend that, most stakeholders will get you being questioned a lot. Because the belief of some of them will be that maybe there's an hanky-panky that you actually was playing on the course of the project. So CPI allows you to be able to, it will help you to satisfy your stakeholders. So I want to give us some, some clue. Because when you are talking about less than one, how less than one is it? Okay? If you are saying greater than one, how greater than one is it? So there are some color codes that we normally use for us to know how terrible are you really doing. You may be doing terrible because, for example, 0.99 is still less than 1. But you can't compare somebody that still managed to have a CPI of 0.99 with somebody that had was 0.45. This person is doing so much, so terribly. Because the gap between 0.45 and 0.99, they are not the same. So it is not enough for you to say, oh, I'm less than 1, but I'm not doing well. But what is the grade of you not doing well? What is that? How do you quantify not doing well? Are you really in big trouble, or the trouble is still something that is manageable? So I will give you some codes that can actually help you. When you have between 0.8 to 0.9, which is still less than 1, we call it yellow flag. All of us know what yellow is. Why? For the lovers of football, when they give you yellow card, of course, it means that you have made a blunder on the field, but the referee is warning you, meaning that you have been warned. You can still play on. Okay? No sanction yet. You are just being warned that you should not commit that foul again. So when you have 0.8 to 0.9 as a project manager, as your CPI, trust me, it's just a yellow flag for you. You are not doing that bad, even though you are doing bad. So it may be that somebody that planned to spend $10,000, and now you have spent $10,100. So you have spent just $100 more. There's still a way that person along the project, you may still be able to actually make do with that overspend that he has just committed. But you see somebody that is already now falling to 0.7 to 0.79. What do you say? That is a red flag. Significant cost issue. It means that the cost issue you're having now is not significant. For example, $10,000 has become $12,000 for you. $2,000 is not a child's play for you to actually cover up. As easy as it may be for you to actually cover up, maybe having made spent $100 more. That one may be easier. But when you have spent $3,000 more than budgeted, that is a very big issue. Okay. But when you have 0.9 to 1.1, we call it green flag. It means that when you are cost efficient, okay, you are really doing fine. You have crossed above 1. It means that instead of you to spend $10,000, you have spent $9,500. You are doing fine. But when it is very much above 1, like having 1.1 to 1.2, it means that you are really doing excellently. No flag again. This one is an excellent performance because you are the cost efficiency is not very, very high. Meaning that instead of you to spend $10,000, let's say you have spent just $8,000. So you have saved yourself $2,000. That is not a child's play. So it is very important. If you use this to measure up, you will know how bad is it and how good is it. That's why we are using those color codes. How good is it and how bad is it? So when your CPI is actually increasing, it means that you are improving your cost efficiency is actually improving. When your CPI is decreasing, let's say it's going down, it means that what your cost efficiency is declining. And when your CPI is stable, it means that what, well, you are working within the budget. So it is very important for us to, and then what I've explained even in the previous class, I just still, stated it again, which we are talking about cost risk management. With all these, okay, we are now looking at how do you manage the risk, okay? So when we are talking about the risk management, for every risk management, whether we are talking about health risk management or anything whatsoever, it is still the same process you go through. In cost risk management, you have to what? Identify, assess, and mitigate potential cost risk that can impact your what? Project budget. So you want to really what? Identify them. What are the things that can actually what? Make me to spend more? That's cost risk management. You want to identify before you start a project, what are the things that I may end up spending more on? For anybody that wants to actually have an event, you need to actually know, okay, what are the things that will really take my money if I do not manage it? For example, feeding your guests might even take you more than what the amount that you are using to rent the hall, if you do not manage what the number of people that will attend your events. So now that I know that what if I make the event and open something, I'm a very popular somebody, about 5,000 people may actually want to come and attend this, and I don't have money to feed them. So to plan this event, okay, why don't I actually do, you should attend by invitation. So if I choose to just give 200 people invitation, those are the 200 people I will budget to feed. So you see now, you have been able to identify from the beginning that you want to do this event, that feeding your guests will bring you a lot of cost risk. And now you have been able to assess it, because the assessment is now that if I make it an open invitation, I can have 5,000 people based on my popularity. I know a lot of people will want to come. So how do I mitigate it? Mitigating it now is that I want to print invitation card so that I will give them invitation, and there will be a security mounting the door, only strictly by invitation. I've been to events before where if you are being given invitation and you carry somebody to join you, trust me, is either you give the invitation to the person to go in, you stay outside, or the person stay outside, you go in. Strictly by invitation. I've been to an event like that before. Strictly by invitation. In fact, the event owner, that's the celebrant of the day, you will not even see the person. You won't be able to even reach the person by phone. They will avoid any means of contact that they not say, oh, I have somebody outside. Can you help me to tell them that I should go in? And I really respect that a lot. I wish I can have an event like that. So strictly by invitation. So that is mitigating. You have already made plans that is 200 people I want to feed. And then you don't want to say when somebody says, I did not get food or anything like that. So you have made plans for it, and it's only those 200 you want in the hall. It is not bad. So as a project manager, you may identify some of these things on your project. And then you'll be able to say, okay, I must cut this down. Instead of us to go through this particular method of fixing this, let us use this. So that you know what methodology you have to substitute, what are the processes you have to eliminate, what are the processes you have to just kind of manage, so that the cost will not go out of hand. So what are the processes? Like I've explained, you identify, you assess, you prioritize, you mitigate, and then you monitor. Monitoring means that you need to check if you actually following what you have planned or not. And then I kind of help with just giving you some differences. Some people normally use this cost estimation and cost budgeting. I've actually made that explanation in the previous class, but here it is actually stated for you to have it you really want to equip yourself, for you to know the difference between cost estimation and cost budgeting. There are differences there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to project quality management as I put an end to project cost management. Can we have emoji that shows that you are with me in the class? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you are with us in the class, let's have your emoji. Okay, Anachi, Alex, Ezekiel, I can see that. Thank you so much. Abioye, Yusuf, all right, thank you so much. So I appreciate you for staying with me in the class. We have to just be precise on the quality management, okay? We just have to be precise, okay, on the quality management. What is quality management? What quality management addresses is that we want the project to meet its objectives. We want to produce exactly what the project owner has asked us to do. We want to deliver the values that the stakeholders are expecting. We want to meet up with the standards that have been given to us. That is the aim and objective of project quality management. And the question in your mind should be that, how do we really go about this? How are we going to measure that what the project actually meet up with the quality? Of course, it's very simple. Now, if it is an organization, then we need to actually look at their concepts. What are the key concepts that will tell us, assure us of the quality of the project? Are there quality policies? There are organizations that have quality policy. Okay? That's the policy that shows that they are committed to quality. I care so much about the quality of the training that people actually benefit from our organization. That is why everything has to be details, and we are always open to you, giving what your review. Why? Because we want to actually deliver quality. We want to be rest assured that what we are giving you is actually matching up with the values that you are expecting. It is not easy as a trainer to be on the training for 2 hours at a stretch. But trust me, it is much more not easy from your hands to pay attention to a training for 2 hours. For me, it might not be easy, but it is much more not easy for you to have an attention span of 2 hours. For somebody to stay on a training for 2 hours, that person must have been getting values from that training. That is why the quality control is very important. And your feedback in most cases shows that, oh, we are doing fine. Okay. Or there are some adjustments we need to still put in so that we can actually what? Get you satisfied. You are the stakeholders. You are really the project owners. Without you in the classroom right now, I will be here just wasting my time. So it becomes compulsory that quality must be delivered unto you. Much work and research must be put in place. Applicable illustration must be used. Like one of the attendees in the previous class suggested, oh, I would appreciate if I see pictures coming up. Then that must actually what? Be implemented. There may be some people among the training attendees that may have the same view, so that you can actually deliver quality to everybody. So as it's applicable to training projects, likewise it's applicable to all the projects that you're handling. It is not about your standard in most cases. It is about what the expected standard of the stakeholders and the expected standard of the project owner. Let me give you some illustrations. My father of blessed memory happened to be a fashion designer. And being a fashion designer, he was also a very devoted Christian who has some reservations about some styles that female gender normally put on. But as much as he was an elder, when you come to meet him, because he actually is a unisex fashion designer, you know, he could sew for female, he could sew for male. So when you come, you tell him that, well, I want my clothes, this style is what I want, sir. I want it to be exposed here, I want it to be exposed there. Despite the fact that he happened to be an elder, of course, his own children, he might not actually allow them to actually put on something like that. People that are his relative, he may preach to them and everything. But you as a customer, that is what you wanted, he had to sew it for you. Based on his own quality of you putting on style, his own quality is that you must be properly and modestly dressed. But you as a project owner now, you are coming that my own modesty, my own quality of this style is that let there be off shoulder here, let there be off shoulder there, so that for me, you have to satisfy the client, because that's what the client actually wanted. So you may have reservations. It may not be your own standard, but the project owner says that this is what I want. That's his own taste. So what I've been explaining now is that who dictates the quality of the project? The project owner is the one that dictates the quality. The project stakeholders are the ones to dictate the quality. You are not to dictate the quality. You are to work as a project manager to deliver that quality that has been stated to you. So it is very important. The quality objectives. You must know, what are the specific measurable targets? What are the things that will really show that yes, you have actually deliver the quality? Is it the size that the project owner has been emphasizing on, that, oh, the size of the bedroom must be this large? If the bedroom is smaller than that, you do not use the accurate measure. That means that it is less than quality. It is not really the material that you use this time. You do not deliver the actual size, you have not delivered quality. Based on the expectation and the requirement of the project owner. What is the standards? Are you working in an industry that have some set standards? Okay, maybe there are some regulatory bodies that say that this is how this thing must be done. Okay, or there are some organizations that normally set the standard. You have to follow the standard so that you can deliver a quality project. What are the metrics of the quality? Okay, are there some metrics that you use? Okay, some parameters that you use to actually know whether it is of quality or not. For example, in cooking, there are quality. So when you are eating quality food, you can tag that as balanced diet. So we use that to actually judge. Is your diet really balanced? Are you really taking the measure all together? Is there protein? Is there this? Is there vitamins? So the mixture of everything actually shows whether you are eating quality food or not. So those are the metrics. The metrics that we use in nutrition is that there must be carbohydrates, then protein, vitamins, fat and oil, all these roughages and all that. That is the metrics. So in your project also, you must actually watch out for the metrics. Okay? Is it the kind of materials you will use? Is it about the size? Is it about the look of the project? When you look at some websites, there are some websites that their graphics is so poor, yet they have a lot of functions. So once the client once they get to the landing page, they get discouraged because it's not looking so fine, it's not looking so pretty. So you have to adjust. And there's some websites that when you get to the landing page, you really want to stick to the site. But the site was not well built. But you are still being captivated by by the look. So you must know the metrics that you actually using. Now let me briefly go through the processes. That's the PMI processes of project quality management. So the quality planning, okay, that's where you have to identify the quality objectives, the standards and responsibility as I've explained. So you do your quality planning. Planning means that you are identifying what are the quality objectives, what does the the project owner really expect as the quality on this project? Okay, what are the standards? And who am I going to assign the responsibilities of these two? So it is very, very important. So you plan. By planning, what are the steps you will take? You define the quality objectives. You identify the standards. You assign the roles of these roles and responsibility to your project team. Those ones that the team that will monitor what quality of the project. It is not a child's play. In fact, if you work in some organization, you see the role of the quality assurance. I'm going to explain, I'm going to discuss it. You will see that it's not a child's play. While I was working in Dangote, we don't joke with those people that are in quality assurance, because your people are already used to your products. Your product must not drop in quality. We know the quality of your products. Once you change some parameters, definitely people will see that, yes, they have your bag, but yet what is inside is not you. Quality is not a child's play. When you see that you are buying your noodles and that noodles has been tasting the same thing, it has been tasting the same thing, the company that is producing it, they maintain that taste. Trust me, their quality assurance, they are working day and night. If you have to mix 10 ml of this, 2 spoons of that, if you make mistake in the production that 2 spoons become 3 spoons, you are going to have a different taste. And people will now see that it is the name of your noodles that is written on the nylon, but the taste is not given. So you must be able to actually make the plan. It is very, very important. So you make the plan. So when you look at my diagrammatic illustration here, you see that in your quality design, that's when you are making the plan. That is where you monitor your scope management. What you need to do in that case is that what is the scope? Let me manage it to deliver the scope. Because if you judge on the quality, that's when you talk about the features, the functionalities, or the size. Okay? And what do you have to actually do? So for you to actually manage this, shortlist your supplier. Okay? And the documents that you are going to actually use to actually monitor the scope must actually be prepared. Then your quality assurance, that's the next process. In quality assurance, you have the processes being put in place so that you can meet the quality objectives that you have set. In the quality plan, in quality planning, what you did is that you set some quality objectives. Now you need to monitor that quality objective to be sure that what you are doing really meet up with that quality objective that you have actually set. And what are the steps you must take? Quality policies must be developed. It is very important. You must be able to conduct quality audits. Auditing means that you are checking, you are comparing, you are really observing your production staff if they are really working in line with the policy and if the quality policies that you have set. Then if anything go wrong, it is in this quality assurance you are going to make adjustments. I've seen this being made. If, for example, they will take the sample, they will come to the production line, quality assurance, they will take a few samples of the material that we are making, take it inside the lab, they will go and analyze it. It's a very serious work. They will analyze it. Back then when I worked in cement plants, how much of limestone must be mixed with this, clay must be mixed with that, so that you can have the result, the quality of the cement that we are known to be producing. And then you monitor the quality performance. It also work on your projects. If people are already used, look at the popular name that Julius Berger have won for themselves. Once they tell you that this road is made by Julius Berger, people don't want to question it. They'll say, no wonder. No wonder it is this strong. Very, very strong. Very, very durable. Very, very smooth. oh, Julius Berger has done a very wonderful work. But once another thing happens like this, people don't want to, they will not even attach that kind of role to Julius Berger. They say, why can't they call Julius Berger to come and make this? Look at all of this, because they have not even made finding about the contractors that did the road. But they are very sure in their mind that it can never be what Julius Berger. Why? They are known with the quality. Their quality is not in question. So you must be able to take correctional measure. It is very important. And then monitor the quality of performance. So it is very important. Quality control. Now that you have actually started assuring the quality standards, meeting up with it, the control is just for you to review. Okay? To review and make sure that the outcome is actually meeting up with the quality that has actually been said. You are monitoring it. This is what you do. Okay, bring it. It does not meet up. Okay, take it back. Make corrections. Yeah, bring it again. So you conduct inspections. You inspect. You test it and validate if it is okay or not. And then, if it has some defects, you address the defects and implement corrections. It's very important. I have some examples here that I actually put. A construction project implement quality control by, what did they do? They conduct inspections. How did they do their inspections? This company, by doing regular site visits. Because of that, they will be able to spot anything wrong that is going on. So there must be daily site visits. Now after that, they will do testing and validating, meaning that all the materials they are using, they will test them. What kind of cement did they buy? Did they buy it from the company we asked them to buy? How much of the cement how much of cement are they mixing with the sand to mold the block, so that we can be sure that the block is actually strong. Identifying and addressing defects. What are they doing? Corrective work. What have you guys done here? This is not what we asked you to do. Break this down, rebuild this again, break the wall here, make there an opening there and everything. So they correct on the site work, and then implementing corrective actions. After they have actually spotted the correction that has to be done, then they have to implement it to make the process improved. So it is very, very important that we know this. And then the fourth process of the quality control is continuous improvement. When you control your quality, there will always be continuous improvement. Okay? Your continuous improvement, okay, as I've used an example in the case of training delivery, you must, after every lesson or after every project, conduct what we call lesson learned sessions. What are the lessons you have learned from your project? What are the things you could have done better? What are the things you could have done faster? What are the things you could have spent less on? So that next time when you are doing it, you will not make the same mistake. Analyze all the data. That's what I've been doing in terms of costs, in terms of the scope, in terms of your time that you have used. Where did you waste time? What wasted your time? Is that the supplier did not actually supply on time and everything? So you analyze this. And then you identify improvement opportunities. Then we are not going to use that supplier again. We are going to use this. Okay, I'm not going to put this particular worker in charge of this place again. This unit is too slow there. It's not good at it. I'm going to use you in this particular unit because that's where you actually can function better. And then you implement it when you have the next opportunity. So let's look at an example of this. A healthcare project implements continuous improvement by, what do they do to actually have a continuous improvement? Conducting lesson learned sessions. That's post-project review. When you are done, what have we done? You review it. Analyzing the quality data. That's the metric analysis, like I've told you. The trainer, did he manage the time well? How was his presentation? Did he engage the attendees? Were there some cross-examining questions? Was he audible? all these must actually what? They are the things that you will sum up for you to now review that, oh, he has done a fantastic what? Presentation. And use that application in any project that you are doing also. Identifying improvement opportunity, that's process mapping. What are the processes we have been using that is not really functioning well? Can we change that process? Can we use a shorter way of doing this? Okay. Like a company that is saying that, okay, can we do some things virtual? You know, there are some companies now that they are now reducing the cost of transportation for their staff. They are running hybrid. They have days that you can now come to work instead of before that they have to go to work Monday to Friday. Now they actually want improving themselves to say, okay, these are some work that you can do online. So why don't you stay at home on Monday and you stay at home on Thursday? You only come on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have some people like that their company is already running hybrid for them because we cannot afford to pay them more for their transportation. And if you cannot pay them more, let's reduce the days that they are coming to work. Let them work from home. So there can be improvements. And then implementing changes. All these changes you have made, then you have to implement it. Now there are some tools here that can really help you to monitor your quality. Okay. I've chosen a very fantastic one to discuss. We have Six Sigma because we have trainings in all this. We have Lean trainings. I don't know, Lean training might be coming up next month or so. Okay. So we have a lot of them. They are actually training on that, but I'm going to actually analyze a very good one for you. That's the fishbone diagram. But before we move on, let's analyze the diagram for us to really for us to flow through everything I've explained under the quality. So when you look at this diagram, it will help you to actually grab immediately. So the process is that the first design, the process that your project will go through. When you have made your design of how the flow of the project will be, then you determine the control limits. What is the limit of the control that you have over the project? And then you move to running the project, the process. This is where you start executing what you have actually earlier designed. And then you take the samples and measure them. What you have now done, take one sample out of it, measure it. What are you checking? You want to check the quality of what you have actually made. Like I gave the example of those who are actually into manufacturing. They just take a little sample, they go and analyze it. Is it really giving us all the things that does it taste like our products? Okay. In project, you will have to do that also. It might not actually be something edible. So then the question we now ask is that, are the samples within the control limits? Is it really in line with what we have set as the standard? If your answer is no, then you have to feed this back to the control limit correct. So you have to go back and correct it. It might even ask you to say that yes, it is actually correct. So then you feed it back to redesign and then you come down again. Or if it is no, then you determine the control limit again. So if the control limit has not been well actually it did not meet up with the correct limit, then you have to feed it back to determining the control limit. And if coming down again, if what you have is yes, then it means that you have to ask the question: does the control chart indicate an assignable cause for errors? If it is no, then you feed it back to run the process. You go and run the process. If it is yes, then you come back to designing it. It's just a way of showing you the loop of how you design, you test. If it does not meet up with the quality, you send it back. If it meets up, then you pass it on that it has actually meet up with your quality as stated earlier in the course of the project. So I'm going to analyze fishbone diagram that as a tool that you can use in testing the quality. Now, when do we use the fishbone diagram? There are two things you must note. You use it when you are identifying possible causes for a problem. When you have a problem at hand on a project, and you really want to fish out what the problem is. So you can use fishbone diagram to analyze it. And when your team members, when they are thinking, does not really seem like they know what is actually going on. Their thoughts about when you're asking them questions is not really deep. They sound like they are clueless about what the problem is. Then you can use what fishbone to actually do the analysis. I'm going to actually show you a very correct way to do, and I'm going to use an illustration to drive it home. So the first thing first is that you have to agree on what the problem is. For example, okay, if the problem is burnt material, let's say burnt material is the problem. So if the problem is a burnt material, okay, then you call your team together. The next stage of the fishbone is that after you know what the problem is, you need to actually brainstorm. You need to first make what we call hypothesis. You have not tested what the problem may be. What would actually make our material to get burnt? You're asking them. So some of them can suggest, maybe it's methodologies. So the method that we actually use in producing it, maybe is what get it burnt. You will list the main categories of what the problem might be. Problem that can actually cause, just like you are saying that there's a fire outbreak. In these units where we have fire outbreak, what are the things that can cause fire in this units? Because you really want to get to the root of what really caused that fire. So you need to start listing the categories of things that can cause fire. So in the case of the burnt material, and I'm just using as an example, you can say methods, the machine equipment. Maybe the machine is not functioning well. Maybe the people are the one that make that mistake. They did not stop the machine on time, or they were just gisting and talking when the process was going on. Maybe the material itself that we use is bad. Maybe the quality of the material is bad, or maybe the correct measurement was not actually made. Okay, this is measurement, and it might be that the environment is not good. There are some material. Maybe the environment has to be chilled. There are some products that you see, like most of these spices that you see, the company where they make them, they call them cold room. Okay? The place where they are going to make them must be very cold, especially if it must actually form a shape like cubic shape, cuboid shape, and all that. So it might be that it's not chill enough, and that is why we have this kind of result. So you do that. Now, how do you draw the fishbone diagram? Okay. How do you actually go through the methodology? I'm going to be showing you one by one. Then let me use my whiteboard to analyze it, and then we have our. So you go to the right hand the right hand side, because of course when you are doing this, you're actually making use of when you go to company where they are analyzing this, you can do it on the board. There are some softwares that can help you, but you can actually do it on the board, on the whiteboard. So you are assuming that when your team members are seated right now, you want to brainstorm. So you say, you go to the right hand side. You can see my whiteboard. You go to the right hand side, you state the problem. State the problem, burnt material. Burnt material. I want to show you how to actually prepare the fishbone diagram. So in this right hand side, you frame that problem that you have written, you frame it into the rectangular shape. And then when you have framed it, then you draw an horizontal line to it. Okay? draw an horizontal line that touch this. And then you can start what? From this horizontal line, start branching out all the major cores that you have stated. Branch them out. Branch them out. You can have as many as possible. Branch them out. That's methods. Branch methods out. Machines. Branch it out like this. People. Branch it out. Environment. Okay. The material itself, branch it out. Measurement is not correct. Measurement, branch it out. Now, you have been able to see the major categories. Now, you now start analyzing them one by one and branching out from their tree. The tree of the method is this one. So you can easily what? Branch out whatever may be what the problem. In the methods, what are the possible things that could be wrong with the method? Wrong interpretation, you will branch it out. Possible thing. Wrong interpretation, that's the method. Wrong application, wrong application of the method. So you will be writing possible things. This is the machine. Overheating, could it be overheating? Okay. Could it be that what? Poor maintenance on the machine, you write it. Poor maintenance. So you write all, you will be branching out all the possible things on that. So that you will be taking them, one by one and be analyzing it. Then you will not check. Was the method interpreted wrongly? No, you strike that out. Was this? So you write everything whatsoever. And this is you and your team that are actually working on it. So the Fishbone method predicted that the tree where you have less information about it, let's say you don't even your members, your team members couldn't give you enough information that, okay, what could actually be wrong with the environment? Let's say they are clueless. That is where you should focus. That is the possible place where the problem lies. You see, the other ones that you have been able to write wrong methodology, wrong this, and you have analyzed them, you see that those ones, they are not there, but you are printing them out. But where you have less information, pay attention to that place. That is the place where you are likely to be having what? Issues. So you have what? You can see a very complex one. It doesn't matter. You can branch out. Even from here, you can branch out another what? Problem, another one here, another one here. Okay, just for you to see a robust view of what the problems might be. So I want to really appreciate you for being with us on project cost management and project quality management. So in the next class, we'll be dealing with project human resource management. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Over to you.
Okay. I want to appreciate our trainer, resource person, Mr. James, for that wonderful class so far. And let me stop sharing so you can see. Okay, so it's quite an engaging and interesting class so far. Quickly, let's take questions. So questions. So please, if you have your questions, kindly signify by raising up your hand. While the class was going on, I saw Margaret raising her hand. So Margaret, you have the opportunity to ask your question now. Let me allow everyone to unmute so you can ask your question. Okay, so please, if you have your question, please signify by raising your hand. So I call on you, then you go ahead with your question. The whole lot has been discussed in the two knowledge areas that we have said yesterday. Okay, so quickly, we have questions. I know it's quite, when it comes to cost management, there are quite a number of formulas you need to put on your head, you need to cram. So, and trust me, yes, when you're writing the PMI exam, these formulas are very, very important for you to be able to know offhand. So quickly, let's take questions. Those who are joining us via the YouTube live, you have the opportunity to drop your questions in the comment section. Okay, I always have questions, or if nobody is asking questions, so I have my own questions that I will ask as well. So be prepared to give a response to my question when I ask. I'm not seeing any hands yet. Okay, so quickly, before we go to that, let's take some feedbacks on the class so far. So Adedoyin Dayo, if you can hear me, please, would love to have your feedback of today's class. Can you quickly do that for us? Adedoyin Dayo. Can you hear me? Kindly unmute your mic.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please go ahead. Would love to have your
Yeah.
feedback.
Today's class has been insightful, though there are still some understanding that I need to get on the cost management. But I know that I am going to check the recorded section after the class. And today's quality management is really very interesting. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the work. And God bless you guys.
Okay, thank you very much. Adedoyin Dayo. We love that wonderful feedback. Mr. Dato Prince Adewale, would love to hear your feedback as well. Dato Prince Adewale, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Like I said the last time, it was an interesting class, very educative, and sincerely, each and every time I give kudos to our facilitator. He, at every point in time, do justice to the lectures. So I give him kudos once again, and you, our moderator, thank you too, sir. So we are very, very grateful. And sir, I would love to ask a question too. And my question goes thus: in case one is not interested in certification, is there a way one can pay for the materials?
For the materials.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll discuss that at the end of the class. Are you on any of the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, sure, I'm on the WhatsApp group.
Okay then. So if we can't pass that information here, then we'll do that on the WhatsApp group.
All right, no problem. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, so we have been able to finalize and complete the cost management and the quality management. And please, the assessments are going to be released at the end of the class. So please, if I didn't call you for your feedbacks here, we still want you to please give us your feedback. So please go on the WhatsApp group and drop your feedbacks for us. And even on this live video, the recorded videos, you can drop your comments on the, in the comment section, your feedbacks there as well. So we'll be able to have access to it. So it's a way of encouraging us and a way of helping us so that we can deliver better and give you, much more of our best in our subsequent classes. Okay, so I want to say a very big thank you to everyone. So as a reminder, for those who are interested in the certification, the informations are there already. We've sent it to your emails. We've sent it to the WhatsApp group, and we'll keep reposting it so that you can get a reminder concerning that. So the certification ends, the discount fee for the certification ends by the 5th of March. So let me use this as a reminder for us all. So I love the last question. I'm usually interested in the materials. Thanks a lot. Yes, and like we did say, yes, for every of our materials, for every of our trainings, we do release the materials. So the rest assured that you are going to get the materials. So please, your assessment is very, very important. Ensure that you do them. We are giving enough time starting from tomorrow. There won't be training tomorrow. So you have enough time to attend to your assessment tomorrow through Sunday, because the next class will be coming up by Monday. So we have the break for 3 days to do that, to exercise our assessments, to also rewatch the videos for everyone, for many of us who couldn't meet up with today's class and maybe previous classes that we've had. So on this note, I want to say thank you to everyone. Trainer, Mr. James, do you have a parting thought for us before we dismiss? Mr. James, are you there with us? Okay, so while I try to get the parting thoughts of our trainer, so quickly, when it comes to cost management or hand value management, the tools and techniques under cost variation, that's the question I said I have. So is there anyone who can give us the tools and techniques under cost management? Most importantly, cost variation analysis. What are the tools and techniques that we have under it? Is there anyone that can attempt that for us before we dismiss? I want to see if we are really following up. Anyone? End value management, yes, is one of the tools. Is one of the tools that we use in cost control analysis. So please, is there anyone who can give us the tools and techniques on that? We mentioned quite a whole lot. All those calculations and formulas that were being discussed. Anyone? Okay, let me give us a what was it called? An int. We have the cost variance, the formula for cost variance. What's the formula for cost variance? We have the EV minus AC. We have the cost performance index. We have the schedule performance index. We have the schedule variance, and a whole lot. And whoever can get this question, another name for the cost for the PV, that is the what's it called? Another name for PV is what? Is there anyone who can help us with that? I know in various in many project management, cost management trainings, there is usually another name for PV. Do you have anyone who can give us? Who knows that? Another name for PV. I'm very sure you are going to find it in the material when we release it. Another name for PV, anyone? Okay, so usually the other name we always give to PV is what? Is the budget at completion. Budget at completion. PV is also referred to budget at completion. So please take note of that. So in some cases, in some materials, you might not find PV, but you find what's budget at completion, which is basically or mostly used when you are doing maybe what is it called, forecasting, when it comes to cost control management. So let's take note of that. Okay, so on this note, we are going to be drawing the curtains. So please, we'll be dropping the assessment on the WhatsApp group. Endeavor to do your assessment. If you have not followed us on our YouTube channel, please endeavor to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Okay, Vincent Blessing, thank you. Cost variance, schedule variance, cost performance index. Thank you very much. So I want to use this opportunity to wish everyone a wonderful day ahead and a wonderful weekend ahead. So till the next class that we are going to be meeting, do have a lovely time. Do have a lovely weekend. So please, we are still going to be chatting up on the group. We'll be communicating via the WhatsApp groups. So thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.